everyone, kids. Welcome to week 6 Tuesday. This is your warm-up block. Go ahead and answer the questions by pausing the video. Keep in mind that your warm-up block is going to be due on week 9 Friday, so you have about 3 more weeks before your 300 points are due. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the question here. Your job here is to answer the questions with a question mark. Since you have a 20 degree right here, you know that this is a 90-degree angle, so 90 minus 20 will give you 70. Similarly, this is also a 90-degree angle, so that's also 90. And then if you take a look at these two angles right here, they look awfully similar or exact. They're opposite angles called vertical angles, and that's 20, which makes J 70, and then angle D, CE as 90. All right, let's go ahead and move forward to your section of 3.2. So we went ahead and kind of took a little break and reviewed graphing and whatnot, but now that we're done with that review, we are now moving forward to 3.2, which is on linear functions. So make sure you guys have your blue student book and you're copying this program. Take a moment and answer these 4 subjective questions. So pause the video and just go ahead and do that. All right, next, let's take a look at example 1. It says evaluate each function for x equals 4. So what that means is every time you have an x, you are going to replace the x with 4. So for a, I have g of 4 because I'm replacing the x with 4. And equals negative 2 times 4 minus 3. Well, that gives me a negative 8 minus 3. So g of 4 equals negative 11. And that is my answer. I'm going to have you guys try B. Your answer at this point should be a 43 for h of 4. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at 2. It says write a linear function for the data in each of the table using the function notation. Now, if you take a look at this, it's kind of like having sets of points, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and choose 2 points right there. And you can go ahead and find the slope formula, use the slope formula, so that when you're done with the slope formula, you find the y-intercept, you will have y equals mx plus b, which is the same thing as f of x equals mx plus b. So my slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's go ahead and plug this in. You can go ahead and label this as well. So that's x1, y1, x2, y2. So I'm going to have 10 minus 1 over 4 minus 1, which is going to give me a 9 over 3, which means my slope is a 3. Next, I'm going to pick a point. I'm just going to use 1 on 1 because that's the smallest point. And I'm going to use that to find b. So my equation is y is equal to mx plus b. My y is going to be 1. My m is 3. My x is 1. I actually circled the wrong part of that, but it's both 1, 1, so it's fine. Plus b. Subtract the 3 on both sides. B is going to equal to a negative 2. Now that I have b, I know y equals 3x minus 2, or f of x, which is the same thing as y, is equal to 3x minus 2. And just to check this, and you can check this, if I were to pick this set of point, f of 2 is equal to 3 times 2 minus 2, which is 6 minus 2, which is 4. Is that 4 the same 4 that I have in the chart? Yep, so I know that my equation is correct. I would like you guys to try A, and I would suggest using a calculator because you do have decimals here, and then do the same thing that I just did. Okay, now let's go ahead and move on to number 3, example 3. It says sketch the graph of each function. Now remember, f of x is the same thing as saying it's a y. So I could just say y equals negative x plus 1. Now at this point, you have one of two ways that you can do this. You could either just go ahead and graph using y equals mx plus b form, or you can use a table or a chart. So for this one, I think I'm just going to go ahead and graph it. Well, looking at this equation, I have a negative x plus 1. My y-intercept is a negative positive 1. My slope is a number in front of the x, which is a negative 1 over 1. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's start off here at positive 1. My slope is a go down 1 over to the right 1, so down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, and then connect your dot. And this is my line. With B, I think I'm going to use a table instead. So here's my table of value. And ultimately, after each question, I'm going to get an x and y point, which means I can then graph it. So let's go ahead and start off with a point. I'm just going to pick an easy one, 0. So when x is 0, my y value is going to be 0 plus 1, which is just 1. First point, 0, comma 1. Then I'm going to pick another point. Let's try maybe a negative 1. So I'm going to do f of negative 1 is equal to 3 times negative 1 plus 1, which is a negative 3 plus 1, which is a negative 2. My second point is a negative 1, negative 2. And you just continue picking a bunch of points. Let's try positive 1. So f of positive 1 is going to be a 3 times positive 1 plus 1, which is a 4 plus 1, or excuse me, a 3 plus 1, which is going to be a 4. So my next point here is going to be a positive 1 and 4. Now that I have 3 points, I can adequately graph this line. Let's start off at 0, positive 1. Second point is at negative 1, negative 2. Third one is at positive 1, positive 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta-da! There is your line. I actually don't like this line because it didn't touch all the dots. Okay, that one's a little bit better. All right, you guys, I'm gonna have you guys go ahead and try the next one for 5. Those are your answers. Go ahead and check them. I'm gonna go over number 6 with you guys. So let's try the first one. When x is 2, you have a 2 minus a 2 inside the parenthesis, which is a 0. A negative 0 is still a 0. So that is your first answer. My second answer is going to be with the 6, x is 6. Well, this one you're going to have to do PEMDAS. Remember, parenthesis comes first. 6 minus 2 is a 4. So my answer is a negative 4. All right, you guys, here's your homework assignment for tonight. Make sure you guys do number 1 to 11 and give it a try. If you need to check your answers, here are your answers. You can pause the video and check. When you guys are ready to take the quiz, here is the quiz on this topic. There are 5 questions. And when you are ready to submit it, make sure you give that to me. Okay, as always, if you ever need to go ahead and make up any of your skills, you just go to this link. If you would like to have more resources or more practice problems or more videos on this topic is on linear functions. You can always go to the following link to watch more videos. I generally always just go to YouTube. And then from there, I will go ahead and type in linear functions, algebra 1. And here you have an array of different videos and also practice problems that you can go ahead and practice. And if you can't see what I'm doing right now, that's okay, because I'm actually going to be posting this back onto the PowerPoint. So you have a smaller thing to type in. Okay, so let's go back to the PowerPoint. And take a look over here. So if you need to go ahead and make up more skills, you can go to this link. This is my Google Doc with all the resources. And if you need more practice problem, go to this tiny URL. And you will have access to all the videos on YouTube that have additional practice problem with us. All right, guys, as always, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.